Hey everybody, good morning. Hope you're doing pretty good. Good morning to some people in the part of America. Good evening to my friends in Africa, and um, good morning to all my friends in Asia and in Philippines. How are you doing today? Um, Today is another beautiful day, and we're going to be talking about something very exciting. By the way, my name is Nshom, and you're welcome to who our amazing podcast, the Global Speakers Advantage. Before we're talking about working the work, and right now we're working the work in the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. So let me know which part of the world you're watching us from. Just indicate which platform you're watching us from. Are you watching us from Facebook? Are you watching us from LinkedIn? Are you watching us from YouTube? All right. Just indicate on the comment section which part of the world you are watching us from. And today I'm going to be talking about something very exciting. And it's nothing but mastering the microphone. Um, Mic mastery. I believe strongly as professional speakers, it is very, very important for us to have a mastery of the microphone, because if we don't learn to manage the microphone very well, it will always distort our message, our communication, and any bit and pieces of information we want to send out there to our audience. So today we're looking at mastering the microphone, or mic mastering. And so let's go right back to the history. The microphone was discovered way back in 1827 by Charles Watson. Charles Watson was an American inventor who actually founded the microphone. And the microphone has had a lot of evolution, right, from 1827 right to 1850 to 1995, right up to 2000. So there have been a lot of changes and evolution and level of involvement with the discovery of the microphone. But again, we're not going to be focusing more on the discovery of the microphone and who discovered the microphone and why was the microphone discovered. We're going to be looking at how can you use the microphone effectively. And we cannot talk about how you can effectively use the microphone if we don't discuss the various types of microphone. So I'm going to walk you through 5 different types of microphones that at any given time as a speaker you will be obliged to use for your presentation. And so the first microphone that I want us to look at here is the dynamic microphone. So the dynamic microphone, it is very durable and versatile, and is very great for speeches. And when I talk about the dynamic microphone, I'm talking about the mic that most of the time we hold, with our hands and we deliver presentations with. That is the dynamic microphone. So an average person listening to me right now must have used a dynamic microphone at a certain point of his career, speaking to an audience. And so the second one is what we call the condenser mic. The condenser mic is actually is highly sensitive and is used for recording. Now, for those of you who've gone to studios, especially those who have done music and those who are into sound recording, kind of recording of workshops and training programs to be uploaded on sound on a crowd savers online. If you're doing programs and you want to record the programs to be used in the future to teach people, most of the time the microphone that you're using to record all of that is the condenser microphone. It is very, very, very sensitive, and it records sounds in studios. And so mic number 3 types, on the type, we have what we call the lavalier, lavalier, lavalier. So lavalier mic is an amazing mic. We call it a lavalier. So it is small and it clips. This kind of mic, I use that most of the time I'm doing videos, when I'm walking around and doing videos, or even at times in keynotes when most of the time, the speakers that they deliver keynote in conferences, they could actually just put it in their ears. They could clip it in their ear, or they could clip it on their chest, on their pockets, somewhere where there's a zip, on their dress. And at time, you have to they hooked it from the bell behind, and then pass it, the rope pass under your dress, and then they turn it and your neck, you hook it, and then you have the little mic here that you can speak to the people. And it's very good for keynotes and for presentations, because with that kind of a mic, you will not be obliged to hold anything, and it's very good and professional when you are presenting or when you're speaking to people and your two hands are active and people can see your two hands, because it helps a lot to enhance your body language, because part of your body language is eye contour, facial expression, and hand movements. So when you're speaking to people and your facial expression is there, and your eye contact is good, people don't feel your hands, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So it is very, very good for presentations. The lavalier is so important for presentation. And so we have what we call the shotgun. The shotgun microphone is actually the ones that are used for movie production. That microphone that they send is like it's a long stick. So they send the mic, and then when the scene is taking place, they are holding the mic like this, and then they're capturing the sound for the movie production. That is what we call the shotgun microphone. And the last one we look at for today is what we call the USB microphone. Of course, we know what the USB is, the universal serial board. So the USB microphone is very ideal for podcasts. Um, Unfortunately, today I am not in my studio. I have some kind of quick work I had to do outside of my home, and so that is a mic I use for the podcast. The kind of the USB mic. I just connect to my laptop, and before you notice, I connect the sound, and then I get the sound from my laptop microphone, and then it gets right. I get the sound from the microphone, I get right to the system, and it broadcasts very well. So that is a USB microphone for us, and most podcasters nowadays they're using the USB microphone. And so I don't know exactly the microphone that you're using, but again, think about these five various microphone. I talk about the dynamic microphone, the condenser mic, the USB mic, the lavalier microphone, the shotgun microphone, and think about and ask yourself which one is really good for me for what I do. And so away from that, let's look at common mistakes when it comes to holding the mic. What are some common mistakes? Mistake number one: holding the microphone too close to your mouth or too far away from your mouth. When you hold the microphone too close to your mouth, your sound becomes really weird and crazy, and you'll be too loud that people can get through when you hold the mic too close to your hands or to your mouth. So please, when you're holding the mic, distance it away from your hands. A little bit like, you know, kind of, you're talking about 50 inches away from your mouth, at least. And then don't take it further than that, because the sound will not be entering and people will not get you, or people will have a hard time hearing you. So remember, it is called a microphone. It means that it amplifies sound. And so always allow the mic to do its job. Don't over amplify the sound by bringing it closer to your mouth, and don't under amplify the sound by taking it away further from you. Please take note of that. The second mistake that many people do holding the mic is that they are too inconsistent with the microphone. What that means is that you cannot hold the mic and you keep moving the mic away from your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, this is what some people do. If you hold the mic here, let it stand there and avoid changing the position of the mic. That will cause a lot of inconsistency with the mic. So you need to avoid that as much as possible. Hold the mic firm and steady. And so one of the mistakes that people do is ignoring the mic direction. You know what I mean? So there's what we call the omnidirection. Omnidirection of the microphone. There are some microphones that they can capture sound from the left, extreme right, extreme left, and at the same time they can capture sound from this circumference. And so omnidirection means that there are microphones that even you take it this way, you speak, you'll be able to capture the sound. You take it up, you speak, you'll be able to capture the sound. Whatever direction you take the mic, it will still capture the sound. And they again we have what we call the cardioid. The cardioid direction now, there are microphones that can capture sound only on one direction. It means that if you're speaking on the mic this direction, the moment you shift the mic this way and you're speaking, the mic will not be captured, the sound will not be captured into the microphone. If you move the microphone to this direction and you're speaking, the sound will not be captured. If you move into this direction, you're speaking, the sound will not be captured. So you want to really answer yourself, is your microphone, the cardioid type or the omnidirection type? So if it is omnidirection, you can play with the mic, which is not also advisable. Or if it is cardioid, then you have to stick the mic on one single direction. Don't be moving with the mic, because the more you move away with the mic, the more your sound will be affected. Your sound will be affected. So avoid moving the mic all the time when you're speaking, especially when you are using the cardioid microphone type. But if you're using the omnidirectional type, you can move with the mic. And again, you have to think about it. So the next mistake that a lot of people do when they're using the mic is that they speak too loudly or too softly. You know, when you're using the microphone, like I said, always allow the microphone to do its job. Let the microphone do its job. The job of the microphone is to amplify your sound. You don't have to speak loudly again, because the microphone is to help you get your sound out there loudly. So your job is to speak in a normal tone. You know what I mean? Like I'm speaking right now. Speak in a normal tone. Don't shout and don't be too soft. And when you don't shout, the microphone will help you amplify the sound, and it will come out and get into people's ears in a very soft and welcoming mood. But when you shout, it will not enter their ears. It will become noise. And guess what? Noise is pollution. And nobody likes pollution. Like pollution is disastrous. Pollution is dangerous. Pollution can hurt people, especially with somebody who are having what I mean, like going through stress and depression and anxiety. You don't want to add to their stress. And you cannot invite people in the conference and while you're speaking, they are going through stress. No, you have to reduce your voice, your volume, not to be too loud and then not to be too soft. So you want to put everything at equilibrium, where the microphone now amplifies your sound. And so avoid speaking too slowly or too softly. Make sure you project your voice, because that's the best thing to do to avoid being too low and too fast. At the same time, too soft or too loud. So you make sure you project your voice. And one of the mistakes that we actually make when it comes to mic usage is that we do what we call popping sounds. You listen to people talking and you're hearing the mic, the P and the B, the P and the B, the P, 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 P. No. So what that happens is that when you're hitting the mic, stop hitting the mic. Don't hit the mic. And make sure your mic is well adjusted before you start using it. Because when you don't do all of that, you will start hearing the popping sound. And the popping sound is very bad when you're communicating. You don't want people to be irritated by what they're hearing, but you want people to be inspired. You want people to learn. You want people to be transformed. You want people to be entertained. You know what I mean? So you don't want people to be irritated listening to you, but you want people to actually enjoy what you're saying. And for that to happen, you have to really make sure you adjust your mic. Then handling the noise. Handling the noise. You have to make sure that you handle the noise in your mic. And how do you handle the noise? Avoid using the mic while you have not checked it. Oh my goodness. Before you go to speak, always test your mic. It is very important to test your mic. Because if you don't test your mic, it could be that the mic was faulty or the mic is faulty. And guess what? If the mic is faulty, you will not be able to have good sound. What you're going to be saying will not be able to get into the people's ears and they will not learn. So you want to make sure that you check your mic before you start using it. And what that is simply called sound check. So before you speak, do sound check. And one of the mistakes I want to talk about here when it comes to using mic is in not ignoring feedback. Now, when you're talking to people and they keep making like this, they keep trying to pull their ears and they're straining themselves to listen to you or to hear you talk. That's crazy. That's feedback they're giving to you. So when you start talking, if it's possible, always ask, are the people behind, can you hear what I'm saying? And how do you know that they're not hearing you? When they're straining to listen to you, when they're pulling themselves in front to hear what you're saying, they're straining. And at times you're speaking and they're like, those are signs and symptoms that they're straining to hear you. And so what you have to do is that you have to adjust your mic or adjust your tone. And when you do that, you adjust the frequency and the sound so they can be able to get what you're saying. So please don't ignore feedback. And using the wrong microphone can also cause all of this. So you need to make sure that the microphone you're using is the right mic for that event you're going to be using. And speaking of the mic, this is one of the last errors or mistakes I want to talk about. Speaking of the mic, um, often at times you see a speaker holding the mic like this. The speaker is holding the mic here and speaking here. The mic is this direction and the speaker is speaking this direction. Or the mic is this direction and the speaker is speaking this direction. That doesn't work. So you have to speak to the mic. Make sure you put the mic at the center and you speak to the mic all the time. That's so important. That's so important. And one of the good quality of a good speaker is mic mastery. So if you cannot master the mic, holding your mic, man, means you still have a long way to go, bro. So I've shared a bit about the history of the mic, and then we looked at the types of mics, and then we've seen some common mistakes that we need to adjust or avoid to have a good quality with our sound. And so, moving forward, so how do you use the mic effectively? So to use the mic effectively, you have to hold the mic away from your mouth, at least 50 centimeters away to 100 or 75, and then you talk. And when you're talking, don't be moving the mic. Don't move the mic. Hold it firm. Talk to the mic. Talk to the mic. If it's rapid, avoid putting some complicated earrings, kind of big earrings, especially if you're a lady, when you're putting especially the lavalier mic, because it is hooked up on your ear and the earrings can always distract it. So if you're going to speak as a lady, avoid some long earrings that can affect the mic movement. That's definitely going to help you and it's going to be a game changer. So my personal experience using the microphone, uh, it took me a long time to actually master the mic, and I just did it the hard way. I was trying my it was more like an experiment, you know what I mean? Like so I kept on using the mic the wrong way. It took some time for me to actually understand what was going wrong. How did that happen? I started, I always get feedback, like most of the people say I was shouting. So when I speak, I spoke in a youth conference in Cameroon, organized by the CBC youth department. A couple of my friend youth leaders, they invited me to do some talks in their youth retreat and youth camps. And most of the time when I speak, they will say I was shouting at them. And it was simply because I used to hold the mic closer to my mouth and I shout. And typical typical pastors from Africa, they do a lot of that shouting, and which is not really very, very, very professional in quotes. So I learned that it is good to speak not loudly or soft. Don't be too soft and don't be too loud. So you just have to be use your voice in the moderate way when you're talking to people. For instance, like in the US, in Europe, in Asia, if you're speaking to people and you shout, you've committed an offense. They will hate you for that. Some people cannot even stand you. So you have to moderate your tone. And so I really messed up when it comes to communicating with the mic, and until I learned it the hard way. So like now when I'm speaking, I don't shout again. I put my mic at least an average of 75 inches away from my mouth, and I speak softly, not too softly, and I don't shout, not loudly, not softly, just somewhere around the middle. And most of the time, the feedback is always awesome. So that's my personal experience. So today we're looking at mic mastery, how to master the microphone as a speaker. And the microphone is a tool that you have to use as a speaker, my friend. And to succeed in this industry, even as a keynote speaker, as an aspiring speaker, as a global speaker, as international speaker, whoever you are, you need to learn how to master the microphone. And just like the microphone being a tool, if you don't learn how to master your tools will master you. And guess what? You don't want to get at the point where your tools have mastered you. You know what I mean? Like you are messing up. So for you to get the best out of any result, out of any work, out of any activity you're doing with tools, you must master the tools. And if you want to get the best out of your speaking engagement, out of your speaking career, you have to master the tools. And one of the tools you need to master is a microphone. So I hope this helps you to to solve one problem in your speaking career, either reducing the problem of a sound or on the sound. And when you begin to practice these tips, understanding the various types of microphone and which one you can use based on what you're working on it, I bet you, I can assure you that your speaking career is going to be only skyrocketing and upward and forward and never backward and downward. So that was it for today. And thank you so much, Ivan Loic. Thank you so much for your Katrin Lemnoy for creating time to listen to this podcast. If this inspires you, share with somebody, and let's see how we build it forward. My name is Oliver Nshom, and it was the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. And so, guys, I had to do it. Like when I promise something, I want to do it. Like so, I said I was coming live today, despite the fact that I was not in my studio, but I had to come live. So I don't want to miss any episode of this podcast. So whatever it takes, we're gonna do it. And thank you so much for watching once again. Let us know where you're watching us from. And if you have any question right now, I will encourage you to ask. If you have a question to ask, go ahead and ask the question. I may answer one or two questions before we close the curtains of this conversation. And what stood out for you? Thank you so much, my friend Miss Sanga Dematri, watching from Linton. Beautiful. So let me know what stood out for you in this podcast for today, and what was your take-home lesson? Okay, just write on the chat box. What stood out for you? Is it the types of microphone? I've talked about 5 different types of microphones and which one you can use based on the occasion and the importance and disadvantages of using each and every one of them. I've talked about common mistakes to avoid when using the microphone. Beautiful, watching from Cameroon, Yaoundé. Awesome. The economic capital, the political capital of Cameroon, Yaoundé. Awesome. Great for you. Try. So let me know what stood out for you. We're looking at microphone mastery, and what are you going to practice after listening to this podcast? And lastly, what question do you have for me, or what would you love me to talk about in the next episode of our podcast on Friday? So let me know, even as we get our things packed. to prepare for our next episode, which is on Friday, same time. So let me know. And away from that, I want to say thank you once again, everybody. Thank you, Miss Sanga, Demetri. Thank you for your catch ride, my very good friend. Thank you, Ivan Luek, for watching. And until we meet again on Friday, God willing, I wish you a wonderful week. It's Tuesday in United States. It's Tuesday in in Africa. It's Tuesday in Europe, and it's almost getting to Wednesday in Asia, and it's already Wednesday in Asia. So I learned how to position the microphone. I wasn't really aware of that. I keep practicing. That is it, my friend. Demetri. Thank you, Miss Sanga. Great lesson. Okay, so let us just drop your lesson on the chat box, and I'm gonna come back to your lessons, and then we can discuss more. So, let me know what you like me to talk about next week. Uh, even as we move forward. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, guys. God bless you, and have a great night. Bye.